Christine Brown, known from Sister Wives, is currently in the middle of a legal process with ex-husband Kody Brown regarding child support for their daughter, Truly. According to Yahoo Entertainment, the two were involved in a court hearing back on December 1st, where their respective legal teams met via a virtual conference to discuss the status of the case. As times have changed, virtual court hearings have become more common, and this one was no exception. Both parties have completed and submitted their required financial disclosures. They've now been ordered to attend mediation, which is scheduled for May 21, 2025. The case has been classified as Track 1 by the Utah courts, considered standard for family law proceedings. More complex cases, such as those involving allegations of abuse or significant custody disputes, are typically classified as Track 3. So far, there's no indication that this case falls under that more serious classification. While the mediation process will be confidential, it's expected that Kody may be ordered to pay child support, as is common in such situations. There's no official word on any changes to the current custody arrangements, though it's likely things will continue as they have been, with Christine maintaining primary custody and Kody visiting as schedules allow. Christine is now in a stable and loving relationship with her husband David, and truly seems to be thriving in a positive and nurturing environment. As for whether any part of this legal process will be included in future episodes of Sister Wives, that remains to be seen. TLC hasn't confirmed details on the upcoming season's content. Fans interested in following along with the case will likely have to wait for official updates, as court proceedings, especially family court, are typically not made available to the public without specific access. The Utah spring air did little to cool the tension between former spouses Christine Brown-Woolley and Kody Brown as they prepared to face off in court. What once was a decades-long plural marriage, complex, controversial, and televised, had unraveled. And now, at the heart of this legal storm was a single powerful issue: child support for their youngest daughter, Truly. For years, Christine had been known as the steady, nurturing force in the Brown family's unconventional dynamic. She had been wife number 3, the warm-hearted homemaker who raised her children with a quiet strength. But behind the scenes of Sister Wives, Christine had begun to question everything: her marriage, her worth, and the future she wanted for her children. When she left Kody in 2021, it shocked fans and fractured the Brown family dynamic forever. Since then, Christine had rebuilt her life with remarkable grace. Now married to David Woolley, she lived in a peaceful, love-filled home, providing the stability and joy that had long eluded her. But some matters from her past still needed to be settled, legally, financially, and emotionally. This court date was one of them. The calm before the courtroom. Inside the courthouse, Christine sat composed, her attorney beside her. She wore a soft blue blazer and held a calm expression, though her fingers fidgeted slightly with a silver ring. Across the room, Kody Brown entered with his usual untamed curls and a guarded scowl. He looked less like the confident patriarch America once knew and more like a man feeling the pressure of the many decisions, some public, some personal, that had brought him to this moment. Their eyes didn't meet. They hadn't for months. Judge Hannah Peterson presided over the case. A no-nonsense, seasoned judge known for her fairness and poise, she had already reviewed both parties' financial disclosures and case files. The issue on the docket: a motion from Christine's legal team requesting formal, consistent child support payments from Kody, who, according to documents, had failed to meet informal support agreements since their separation. Christine wasn't asking for revenge. She wasn't asking for a fight. She was asking for what was right, for Truly. Backstory, rewritten. Once, their family had seemed revolutionary. A man with 4 wives, 18 children, and a national television spotlight. It was either fascinating or infuriating, depending on the viewer. For Christine, it had been a life of compromise. She raised 6 children in a world where attention was divided and affection was inconsistent. And while the world saw the smiling scenes, the potlucks, and the family meetings, Christine saw the small heartbreaks, the missed birthdays, the deepening loneliness. Leaving wasn't easy, but loving herself and her children meant stepping away. Truly, their youngest daughter had taken the change with quiet resilience. She loved her father, yes, but she had come to understand the reality. He wasn't always there. He had other commitments, other wives, other children. Now, with Christine remarried and living in Utah, and Kody still in Flagstaff, Arizona, the physical and emotional distance had grown. Christine carried most of the parenting, the bills, the worry, and the day-to-day. The legal arguments begin. Your Honor, Christine's attorney began, Ms. Woolley is simply requesting what is legally expected and morally fair, a consistent financial contribution to the care of their shared child. Ms. Woolley bears the full responsibility of Truly's upbringing, education, and health care. Mr. Brown's financial role, up to this point, has been sporadic at best. Kody's lawyer countered with a more defensive tone. Mr. Brown has always expressed a desire to support his daughter. However, given the number of dependents he has and the unique nature of his family structure, we ask the court to consider the burden that this request places on him. The judge raised an eyebrow. Mr. Brown's obligations to other children do not negate his responsibilities to this child. A hush fell over the room. Christine sat still, her heart pounding, not with anger, but with resolve. A voice for Truly. The judge asked Christine if she'd like to speak. She nodded and stood, steady but sincere. This isn't about punishing Kody, she said, her voice soft but unwavering. This is about ensuring that Truly has what she needs. She deserves support from both of her parents, not just love, not just visits, but real, tangible support. I've tried to handle everything on my own, but it's not sustainable, and it's not fair. Across the courtroom, Kody shifted in his chair but didn't respond. Christine continued, she's a bright, kind, creative girl. She deserves to know that her father shows up, not just in words, but in action. Her words hung in the air, heavier than any legal document. The judge's decision. After reviewing the financial records, the court ruled that Kody Brown would be required to pay monthly child support, retroactive to the date of the couple's informal separation agreement. The judge emphasized that Truly's well-being was the priority and that financial responsibility must be shared. As the ruling was read, Christine closed her eyes for a brief moment, not out of triumph, but relief. It wasn't about the money, it was about the principle. It was about being heard. Kody remained silent, his lawyer collecting paperwork beside him. He didn't protest the decision, nor did he offer reconciliation. Maybe one day that would come. But today, the courtroom had done what needed to be done. Healing, one step at a time. Outside the courthouse, Christine spoke briefly to a few waiting reporters. Her message was simple. I've moved on with my life, and I'm happy. This was just one chapter I needed to close the right way, for my daughter's sake. I hope this helps her feel secure and supported. That's all I've ever wanted. Back home, Truly was with David, likely making bracelets or baking cookies, two of her favorite pastimes. Christine smiled at the thought. Court battles aren't glamorous. They're not easy either, but sometimes they're necessary. Not for revenge, not for fame, but for fairness, stability, and love. Christine had faced down her past. She had stood up for herself and for Truly, and she wasn't looking back.